What's in a name? That's the famous question that Juliet asks in William Shakespeare's play Romeo and Juliet. A rose by any other name, she says, would smell as sweet. I thought of that quote because this week we're reading the Torah portion, Shemot, which comes from the book of Shemot, the book of Exodus. The Hebrew name Shemot means names. Now, normally, the Hebrew names for the 5 books of Moses come from the first significant word in the book. So the first significant word in the book of Exodus is Ele Shemot. These are the names. And that's where it gets the Hebrew name from. But as it turns out, it is significant that this Torah portion is called names because names play a significant role in the characters of the story. For instance, Moses is given a name by Pharaoh's daughter. Pharaoh's daughter, on the other hand, is not given a name. The two relatively insignificant figures, or seemingly insignificant figures, the midwives, who continue to help the Israelite women give birth to babies after the Pharaoh decrees that the males should be killed. These two females, seemingly small characters, are given names, Shifra and Puah. On the other hand, Pharaoh himself is not given a name in the book of Exodus. But perhaps the most famous name in this week's Torah portion, and the most important name, is the name that God gives to Moses for God's self. Moses asks God, I'm going to go to the Israelites and tell them that God is going to free them, but what name should I tell them? What is your name that I should tell them that this God is freeing them? And God famously says, Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh in Hebrew, which could be translated a number of ways. For one thing, it could mean, I will be what I will be. In which case, God perhaps is telling Moses, you will see what I will do as I perform miracles and wonders to help you escape Egypt. And as you see what I do, you will understand who I am. I will be what I will show you I am. I will be what I will be. Or perhaps God is speaking as Popeye the Sailor Man would famously later say. For those of you who remember the cartoon of the 1950s and 60s, Popeye the Sailor Man song used to sing, I am what I am, and that's all that I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. So perhaps God is just saying, I am what I am, and that's all that I am. And you'll just have to figure out what that means as a human being of limited capacity to understand who I really am. We'll be exploring names, and particularly God's names, in my sermon this Shabbat morning. And this week, thankfully, thank God, we are going to be back at our building at Beth Yeshurun. So I hope you'll all join me Friday night for a special Friday night service, and then Saturday morning where we'll talk about Ele Shemot. These are the names. Shabbat Shalom.